What is going on, everybody? It's your boy John, and welcome back to Gearbox. So, today, wanted to get in front of the camera once again, give you wonderful people a video to take a gander at. Today's video is not what I was planning on filming. So, with that being said, that video will come next week. But really, let me give you a little bit of a backstory here. So I was just grocery shopping. Checked out, went to my car, went and unlocked the car, and there were actually two guys, like not related, two separate guys who were asking about the car. And they were probably, I don't know, 40 years old or so. And one had their kid with them, so I kind of, let them get in the car and rev the engine and, just typical douchebag shit, I guess, at a grocery store. Anyway, the big kind of question that they kept really asking, and mainly because it was so low, I had to explain to them that I am on bags and I am aired out, but they kept asking, how functional is a car like this, right? It seems maybe not as functional as you might think. Obviously, when you've got the front lip and the side skirts, and it rides low, when I'm aired out, and the exhaust that's kind of loud, all that sort of stuff. And I basically had to sit there and explain to them, it's actually a pretty damn practical car. It's a mixture between functionality and having a lot of fun, driving a loud car, turbo noises, lowering, etc., and it's kind of a little bit of a give and take, but overall, I think this car is phenomenal. Very practical as far as 4 doors and stuff like that, but anyway, so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a video just going over, and maybe you're 16 years old and you're trying to get your first car and you want a WRX. Show your parents this video, and maybe I can persuade a parent or two that this actually, although turbocharged and has a lot of aftermarket potential, is actually a very, very practical car. Whether you're 16, whether you're 45, whether you're single, whether you have a family and kids, whatever. So let's jump right into it. All right, everyone. So point number one has to be the fact that this is 4 doors. A lot of people, maybe that's an exaggeration, but a lot of people, in my opinion, when they are like, oh, I'm into cars and, I love modifying stuff and whatever, and I want this car, or that car, a lot of times those cars are going to be coupes. There's nothing wrong with coupes, but obviously coupes have a couple drawbacks. One being the fact that you can only fit dos amigos in the car, as opposed to theoretically 5, but for all intents and purposes, let's call it 4. But the fact that this is we'll call it sports sedan, I don't know what it's actually classified as, but the fact that I can stuff people back here if I want to is great. Or if maybe I'm taking a road trip or whatever, and I've got bags that need to be in my car, I can easily do that. And I have done it a million times. It is extremely practical from that sense, as well as I'm a big dude, okay? I am 6'3", or not 100, Jesus. I haven't seen 100 pounds since I was probably in 8th grade, or at least 100 pounds a weight with a 1 in front of it. Anyway, 6'3", 250 pounds is my dimensions. The fact that my big ass can sit here in the driver's seat, here if I wanted to, and even back here, I can do that. And you really cannot say the same for a majority of cars that are going to be modded or have some sort of car enthusiast kind of following around, and this one does. And so that has to be point number one, in my opinion. I mean, you're not sacrificing being able to take people. It's not a car where, you know, if you're going, you know, I live in South Carolina. If I'm driving to Charleston for the weekend, I can't be like, oh, damn, like, can we take someone else's car? I can't fit anything. That's not the case here. So once again, that's point number one. On to point number two. Okie dokie. On to point number three. It's going to be the engine and the power plant and whatever you want to call it. And the fact here, and I know, insert head gasket joke here. Screw you guys. Anyway, the fact that this is a turbocharged 4-cylinder is going to do you wonders in a couple different things. One, and the main point of this talking point, is insurance. I guarantee you, the insurance on this car, given the fact that it is a 4-cylinder engine, might have a turbo on it, that's fine. A lot of cars do nowadays, trucks do, just for efficiency standpoint. But I guarantee you, you get insurance quotes on this versus a V8 Mustang. And Mustangs might not be a great example because they just run into crowds of people. But I don't know. You get the point. The fact that it's 4 cylinders, insurance is not going to sit there and rape you because it's a 4-cylinder. It's not a V8. It's not a Hemi. It's not, a V10. Even a V6 or an inline 6 is going to be more in insurance. Moving on to point 4, as it relates to this, is fuel economy. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. especially in these times where I am an idiot and decided to get my shit tuned on 93. I'm paying $5 a gallon here in South Carolina. And yes, I know if you're in California or New York or whatever, gas is more expensive. But the fact that I can get 32 miles to the gallon on the highway, and once again, that is with it tuned and 320 horsepower, 32 on the highway and like 24 in the city. I mean, outside of like a damn Tesla, you really can't beat the fuel economy here for the purpose of the car. Once again, you drive a V8. That shit is just going to, you know, the TikTok where it's like money, when you, whatever. That's not the case with this. Now, it still sucks. You know, fill up the car and it's $70 to fill it from empty. Not fun, but it could be worse. And that's kind of the standpoint you have to choose here, is that it's economical. It really is. And I know this sounds biased and trying to like sway your opinion, which I guess I kind of am because I love this car, but it's not like you're getting 8 miles to the gallon running, you know, once again, a V8. You're just not. It's 4 cylinders. And I'm here to tell you that it could be a lot worse. And guess what? I have more smiles to the gallon, as that dude in blue would say. So anyway, that's 3 and 4. On to the 5th and final point here. All right, guys, so for the 5th and final point, we're going to talk about the interior. Now, the elephant in the room is that a WRX does not have the nicest interior when it comes to materials like this or whatever. But I will say, although that is true, I think it is a very sleek interior, and it's very practical. You've got cup holders, you've got a little cubby here, you've got glove here, and then I added in the second tier of the center console, you've got the glove box, you've got the, you know, little door cards, whatever. Yes, the infotainment system is not the greatest. It doesn't have Apple, wireless Apple CarPlay or whatever the hell it is. So you do have to plug in, but you know, realistically, it's pretty damn good. And honestly, I think it looks good. I think the knobs look good. I think the gauge cluster looks good. You have customizable stuff up here. So as you can see, back to the miles per gallon, 24 in the city. Whatever, you know, it's something that you have to consider, right? We're not sitting here, you know, when you buy a car, the exterior is great. You got to like the exterior, but my ass sits here 100% of the time. I don't see my car drive by all the time. I don't sit in the passenger seat. This is my home right here. And so you have to like it. And I'm here to say that, you know what? It might not be top of the line materials. You're not dealing with, you know, stitched leather or whatever. It's not a Ferrari, but it gets the job done. And I enjoy it. Once again, not the nicest thing ever, but it looks good. It's practical, so on and so forth. So anyway, that is going to conclude point 5, and that is going to conclude this episode of Gearbox. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions or any other points maybe that you would maybe give out to talk about, drop them down below. I'd love to hear your opinion. And yeah, anyway, that's going to be the video for today. Like I said earlier, give this video a big fat thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. Peace.